Yeah, good. It's been a very interesting week in terms of articles, and I kind of haven't really sent you all the stuff I've been reading, Andrew. I apologize, but I found the Microsoft admission about Copilot reading sensitive documents. Did you guys see that one?
Yeah, the DLP. It wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't listening to its own DLP settings.
Oh my God. It was doing the exact opposite of what it was supposed to do in its DLP settings. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fascinating. I liked the caught the bleeping computer article on Dell. I love how they called it Dell. I still think of it as VMware, but the ESXi vulnerability that exposes people to all kinds of nasty stuff. That was a good one. What was another one, Andrew, that I ran across this week? You'll probably bring it up because it's your favorite topic. It's another ClickFix variant that's out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's on your sheet. None of those are wins of the week. So
Mm.
let's see what we got for wins of the week from the crew.
Yeah,
Look at
for sure.
Enrique first with the hand wave.
So we had a customer request an email release because he said it was from his customer. Our customer said it was from his customer, and so to release the quarantined email, it got denied, saying it was a phishing harvesting credential site. So I reached out to my customer and I asked, I have a good relationship with him, and I have a family tie with his customer, the sender of this email. So they're not my customer, but I asked him, I go, so why did you request to release it? I go, it's an RFP. I go, did they send you RFPs? He goes, oh no, we don't conduct business that way. We just handle other companies. He's a tax consultant. And I'm like, okay, so then why did you want the RFP? He goes, well, I figured it was something important. And I'm like, no, it's not. So I reached out to the owner of this company, the guy that's in the email, and I said, hey, FYI, your 365 account, at least yours is compromised. Some others might be compromised. And I didn't get much traction. My customer reached out to him as well and told him not much traction. And about 8 p.m., I said, you know what? I'm just going to call him last night. Called him and I said, hey, he's like, oh, we'll talk about it in the morning. And I'm like, we did some things internally to fix it. Thank you for letting us know. And I'm like, well, you're welcome. But I go, we could talk whenever you want. I go, but time is of the essence in this kind of things. And we don't know exactly what's compromised. So he's like, so can my IT guy call you right now? I'm like, of course. So they call me. I install stuff on there. We start an audit. His account was compromised since November 25th. They had access like 1,300 emails. They just sent one. They deleted 128 emails. And there was 5 other accounts that had inbox rules created. Um, just 2 of them. A lot of deletion of logs and stuff covering their tracks. And the funny thing was, what caught my attention, 5 of those, no, all 6 mailboxes, the inbox rule created was to move Microsoft 365 Microsoft invoices to the archive folder, whichever folder they use. And I'm like, why would they be concerned about the Microsoft invoices? Were they going to try to buy a whole bunch of licenses to create a whole bunch of users and then attack?
No, no, more than likely they were going to use them as a ruse, a phishing ruse about paying invoices and redirecting them. And, that's a perfect phishing campaign because, again, think about who it's being sent to. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Wouldn't you think, Chip, when you think about
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why they're harvesting. Because again, it's like, if I send you, hey, this invoice is sent directly to your email. Maybe it's Enrique, you haven't paid this. Your account's going to be deleted or suspended, or who knows the ruse.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think of that because the email they sent out was an RFP, obviously from his own SharePoint and stuff. But um, they deleted 109 emails. A lot of so this is a home builder. So now they know their operations. This was the CEO for 2 months, looking at invoices, contracts.
Yeah.
So yeah. So today we have a talk a little later. Hopefully they become a us partnership. a K
Nice.
user partner. So hopefully, so that's the big win there.
Nice, Enrique. By the way,
So
Mike, go, Chip. Sorry.
so Enrique, you ran all this down without any the tools that you normally put on. You guys just started looking at logs like manually.
No, I ran a tool. Oh, and then what caught me is I tell them at 8 p.m., hey, can you create do you have global admin access? Yes. Can you create an account for me? They're like, yes, of course I can share my credentials. I'm like, no, just can you create an account? Like one MSP user at the on Microsoft, whatever. And so he says, my IT guy's going to reach out, and I text him. I mean, I was the owner of the tenant last night. Whatever I wanted to do, we could do. He's like, they told me to stay in the office. And I'm like, don't worry, you don't need to be in the office. But so they immediately got me a global admin access account and stuff. And they do seem kind of orderly. They have 3 accounts on Microsoft, not labeled, not emailed, with the global admin access, but they're not using conditional access. They don't even have MFA enforced in such a way. But so Chip, we used the tool that is this audit report.
Got it.
Interesting what Mike Elder said. Yeah, Mike, probably great ruse there for not ruse, but spinning up Azure licensing, obviously in region for attacks. That's a primary use case for spinning up Azure's. If in fact it was compromised, and gives them additional capability. So
Hey Steve, you're being polite. You ready to jump in?
I was just going to mention what Mike said in chat.
have you seen that as well, Stephen?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago that happened, but the customer didn't realize it was happening. We got our monitoring in place and took care of it, but like I said, that was old. So anyway.
Came in via proxy.
So Enrique, the takeaway now is the guy's got MFA on all of his accounts. He's changed his password. He's taken his account and dropped it out of the admin group. And he set up a separate.
His account was not in the admin group. Even though he answered, he was. But that they do have kind of orderly. I was surprised, but the tenant has a lot of areas of opportunity on displacing some standards on there. But it's like a 75 user.
What kind of company? What kind of business?
You said home builder, right?
Yeah, a big home builder. Yeah, it's an investment. Also, they do a whole bunch of industrial warehousing, industrial parks and stuff. So
interesting.
Yeah, they're going to be. I think there's going to be a lot more coming.
And do you expect more fallout from this? I mean, you said that this happened in November, so that's basically 4 months of living off the land. So I'm thinking there's a lot more that you're going to discover that may have gone on.
So as to the tenant for the last 6 months, I think we picked up what's there, but I think they are probably going to follow up registering domains, similar domains, trying to inject themselves in conversations. What surprised me was waiting for 2 months and 23 days, whatever it is, and then just sending that one email.
So wait a minute. So they have you looked at any other suppliers and asked you've seen no emails going to suppliers for different types of payments?
Only one email sent, 180 emails deleted. The email sent was yesterday morning.
But I'm saying email sent, what that could have, if the account was compromised, you don't see any emails sent to suppliers from the same email address?
They only send one. So what this tool does is it picks up, once it picks up all the audit logs, then it'll go and baseline it, and it determines regular behavior versus not regular behavior. So once it baselines, now it goes looks for an autopsy to be able to pull what those logins, what activity those logins did, those sessions coming in from those bad IPs or that they identified what they did. So they read 1,300 emails. 1,327 emails. They only send one email. They modified 2 emails, which was its own email, and they deleted 109 emails. And a lot of these deleted emails were like city permitting, different kind of things, which I did not get why. Like, what was the purpose behind deleting those? Because I have the whole list of all the emails they touched and deleted. Hard
That
deleted.
sounds like it's an attempt to disrupt the business. I mean, that sounds city permits, like deleting emails back from permit offices. That's what, if I were a competitor to this home builder and I wanted to hire a hacker, that's the kind of shit I'd tell them to do. Like art of war kind of stuff. Like just go mess with the guy's ability to run his business and generate revenue. That's really
Possibly, yeah, because
strange.
there was a lot of the emails deleted were a lot of undeliverable, obviously from the email sent yesterday. But then there's emails like with address of properties, contract closing for tomorrow.
So to Chip's point, Enrique, ask the business owner, were any of his projects delayed due to
Or
permitting,
disrupted.
due to supply like, we didn't hear from a contractor. A contractor said we didn't pay them. County of such and such said the permit wasn't, never got back to us about permitting.
Like, here's one: signature requested for combined home builder certification HUD, warranty of completion of construction, termite protection builder's guarantee. So all these paperwork that I guess has to be signed in the closing was deleted.
Closings, Chip. You delay closings, right?
Wow.
Yeah, check into that, Enrique.
will.
That would be really interesting. You're like the Madlock of is it Madlock? Remember Madlock, Chip?
Yeah, there's a new
Uh,
series actually with a lady.
Is he Matlock or MacGyver?
No,
He could
Matlock.
be whatever he wants. Mod Squad for all I care, Chip.
Oh boy, you're dating yourself there, Andrew. All right, what else do we got in the can of worms? That was quite the topic of the week. Maybe we need to change this from wins of the week to, I don't know, topic of the week. It's not. It doesn't seem like there's wins anymore, Andrew. The win has become nothing happened, and our tools caught everything, and it's event of the week.
Because we protected our customer.
Yeah, that's a win. Yeah,
I got a win.
The tool is getting so good that we're not getting as many of the quote unquote wins. You're right, Chip.
Yeah, Corey's got to win.
You got to win. It's a little different. Can I share a visual? Is that all right?
It depends what visual, but hopefully it's an audio one, and one Tina will approve. That's all.
Okay.
I hope about.
So I was debating whether to talk about this or not, but I think it might be helpful to a lot of people on this conversation. I can pause recording. Beautiful. Let me know if you see it. It's like a dashboard.
Yep.
Okay. So have a decent size customer of ours, and they've been with us for 4 months, and they got a new CISO. So if any of you deal with larger organizations that have CISOs, right, it can be fun when there's new CISOs coming in. So obviously when a new CISO comes in, we kind of have to validate our existence and what we're currently doing for them. So I've worked this platform I'm showing you here. This dashboard is from MSP Bots. They apparently have a SaaS Alerts integration. So I'm assuming you might have worked with them at some point, Chip, because they have a full integration for you guys. It also integrates into our PSA system. So not only can you show what you're doing on the security side, you can show what you're doing on the ticketing side if you need to go and have a QBR with any of your customers. So luckily for me, I already had everything ready to go, stats ready to go to talk to the CISO. Now I'm going to zoom in so it's easier to read, right? So as an example, when my SOC sends out things, we have 3 classifications: minor, major, critical. Critical means it's a confirmed compromise. If it stays a critical, it means it's a confirmed compromise. So what was nice was I was able to go back in and show him the value of our offerings. One, specifically our SaaS Alerts offering, because if you look, 80 to 84% of what my SOC sends comes out of the cloud. It's a combination of our email security and then what we're doing on SaaS Alerts. So if you look at major, 298 alerts over the last 90 days for this one customer, and there was only 11 for the rest of the levels of telemetry. So one, that started showing value in our offering that we have, obviously with SaaS Alerts as the back. And they've been with us for 4 months. And as I had to explain to him in my own Corey way, we've saved your ass every single month. They had a confirmed compromise, 3 on the, we had 2 Axios in the middle, 1 email rule that we identify that was a legit compromise. And then one thing that happened on one of their endpoints from the AV EDR aspect. So just having that availability, having all these stats, having all these numbers, I save the account. The CISO is good because it's hard, right? When you get new CISOs come in or new people coming in, they bring their, I'm not going to call it baggage, but they bring their experience. They bring what they're used to. So maybe they're used to using this vendor. You know, show me why I've been using this other vendor for many years. Show me the value that you're bringing to this organization that I'm coming into. And when you have that data and that stats readily available there it is.
Corey, you guys use the reporting features of SaaS Alerts as well and send people scheduled updates?
Yes, that's automatically done, but we find with a lot of organizations. So this goes into a lot of conversations I've been having recently. I feel like when these are set up, I'll just be blunt. CEOs don't run these companies anymore like they used to. Right? CEOs run the business aspect of it. So even CISOs don't technically run the company anymore when it comes to these solutions and these situations. So what we're dealing with a lot are engineers, right? They're the ones that kind of have the buy-in to the offerings that we do. They're the ones that are requesting and getting the reports. And we're finding the higher leadership doesn't even want these reports. So when we have someone onboard into our, Zach's here, he does a lot of our onboardings. We tell them, hey, yeah, we got these integrated reports coming out of SaaS Alerts. And so a lot of them sign up, but a lot of them just go to engineers and technicians. Now, obviously, with what we do, I need to show more than just SaaS Alerts, right? I need to show everything that our SOC does in a bigger, complete picture than just that one aspect. But yes, Zach, what report do we use by default that we found the most useful?
The SaaS cyber assessment.
Yeah. That's the most common one that gets scheduled.
Oh, go ahead, Chip.
No, I was excited. Good. I mean, thanks for the feedback. I like hearing. Reports is always one of those modules that I wonder how
you'll
much
never
people
get it
use.
right.
Yeah,
but you'll never get it right. Everybody wants
can't.
reporting and better reporting, but no one can tell you what that looks like.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
So Tina, like, what comes to mind? When you're like, hey, I'd love a flower reporting. What comes to mind? Is it just a blank slate? You're not sure how to use it. Need better, just tutoring on it.
More than anything, I think interpreting the data. It's easy to use. It's just
too busy. Just too busy. Set it up. I just need to get in there and look at the ones that would provide the most value to review with clients and start automating those just so they have them. We say we're sending them. There they are. You can look at them if you want to. I just haven't had time. It's all about time. Not enough time.
If you don't go to these stupid conferences, maybe you'd have a little more time.
I'm finding people now, like before everybody wanted reporting just automatically sent to them. I'm finding reporting is now becoming more situational based. Like with a lot of our offerings, we do report cards based off configuration settings, right? So if I was looking at like your 365 implementation, creating a report card around your configuration, similar to what Fortify does, right? And giving you a grade letter. And what we found is if we give a big red F because someone's implementation sucks, it gets results. People want to talk to us. They want to talk, that gets more visibility than just sending a multi-page report. As an industry as a whole, we're getting down to it's either situational based or it can't be more than one page. If you have a report more than one page, I'm finding people aren't reading it. I mean, hell, people aren't even reading emails nowadays.
And not too often. Like this is one of the things that I counsel partners when they ask, which is increasingly or decreasingly often for me anymore. But yes, you can schedule them to go every week. But if you do that, people are going to start ignoring them pretty quickly. Once a quarter and give them the summary stuff is probably more effective than once a week.
Yeah, Chip, I have sorry, go. I was
going to say that's why I liked what I was showing you guys, because I was easily able to get on, show him some quick live numbers to be like, here's the value, here's how we saved your ass, right? Here's the value that we're bringing instead of you considering switching to something else or trying to buy direct. Because again, we all have to show our value in one way or the other, no matter what, whether you're an MSP, an MSSP, or now, like the level that I'm at a corporation.
So Andrew, before you jump in, I just have a quick question for everybody. There's a lot I'm watching all the chatter going on about getting, a class assembled here. Do you guys want us to tackle one of these earlier features of SaaS alerts that maybe we've never gone over on one of these calls, and devote a half an hour to it one of these weeks on the SASE call, like we can do that. Andrew will let us do whatever we want. I mean, he creates the agenda, but he will let us do it.
For
So
sure.
let's, if Maya or Ben or somebody, if you guys can like keep track of a somewhat unscientific poll in the chat, maybe that's something that we should do. Because we always bring the new stuff that we're thinking about and we get your opinions on it. But I can't think of a time we've ever gone back and said, hey, let's look at Fortify from the very beginning and just review what it can do.
I vote Amanda on screen if we're going to do Amanda, for sure.
Well, what would really be fun is to drag Jason in here on screen, since he's the guy that has developed Fortify from top to bottom. He's a one-man god developer. It'd be fun to have him do it.
Chip, one thing I was curious about, I have two thoughts on reporting. One is, I'm assuming the SaaS report is due soon, if not
Yes,
imminent.
it is due soon. Yep.
Any thoughts on being able to say what good looks like? Like, for example, SaaS Alerts customers that were configured this way, were able to thwart this type of attack, at a higher percent than others, or, just relative to token hijacking with SaaS Alerts was reduced this much or this, et cetera. And then when reporting goes out, we could say, here's how you rank to your peers. I think peer ranking is always interesting if we could have any type of reports like that. I don't know if it's possible. I just think, again, people always want to know how do I rank? How do I compare, right, to others? Oh, you're doing real, or you're down here.
So, Andrew, you might not know this. I'll bet you many of you might not know this, but peer ranking is already included in SaaS Alerts Fortify reporting, secure score reporting. It already tells you how your customer looks compared to other SaaS Alerts partners. So, but you're right. We have not done that in the past in the SASE report. I have to think about how we could approach that. We definitely are looking at compromises per million attempts and trying to tease that out based upon settings and configuration. We're definitely going to be reporting on the average improvement of Microsoft's secure score of configuration management among SaaS Alerts customers. So there's a bunch of that kind of thing that'll be included in the SaaS report. Jim has a whole list of topics that he's going to be presenting on a March 4th, I think, webinar. So we're holding a lot of this back until he does that presentation.
Okay. That is absolutely fair. By the way, have you spoken to this lady, Nellie Greeley?
I don't think I have.
Okay. I'll talk to you offline about it.
Okay.
Enrique.
I forgot I had a little minor win against Ben.
Against
Enrique,
Ben.
Enrique 1, Ben 0. I'm going to be eating my food later, but so far we tried the Evogenics.
Oh. We talked about this last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's going to recap it, Enrique or Ben?
Oh,
Enrique.
Ben.
Come on, to the winner goes the spoils.
We're waiting for a community effort to pitch in to complete $1,800 to buy the professional version. We're going to do a GoFundMe or some crowdsource funding for our professional Ben edition. But yeah, so far, so basically what we noticed on the version he's running, if you're federated, Entrust federated to another IDP, with that version, you're one step ahead because it breaks the link. Once it sends me to our IDP, it breaks that link. So we try to find other sources in the internet to see if we were. Well, I was going crazy. Ben was recommending not to do it. We try to find other sources to see if we could see something, but we failed to do that. But so yeah, the curiosity is with some what are they called? Fishlets then?
Yeah, the Evil Jinx program it's gotten some age to it, so I have heard Kuba is the guy that wrote it, and he released a professional version. It's like 1,800 US a year, but the plan is for them to update the community edition this year with all of the same stuff that basically is in the professional version. So that's when we're gonna come back and try it again. Yeah.
By the way, good question by Mike. Chip, do we know about this webinar Jim's doing? I Googled search real quick. I didn't see anything about a March webinar with Kaseya and Jim Lippy.
I guess they don't have it announced yet, but I definitely know that there are some topics that are coming straight from the SaaS report data for that. So
Okay.
we'll follow up with you on that, Andrew, so we can use your powerful platform to get the word out.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have Jim on CyberCall. It'd be fun for sure. Okay, other stuff. People have other wins or things they'd like to share? Just checking through the list.
I had a short win.
Yeah, go ahead, Sujit.
So we are, as many others are, going through CMMC compliance for folks who were ignoring it for the longest. So we're going through level 1 with a handful of folks, and we had a really cool meeting with one of those virtual CISO platforms. The customer had basically signed up to have this virtual assessor come in and kind of help them figure out all their CMMC stuff. And when we had gone through with him kind of what we had implemented for the customer from K365, the Kaseya switches and everything, he kind of looked at us and he's like, you guys are like 90% of the way there. And when he looked at what we had control wise from all the Kaseya products, he's like, as an MSP, he's like, you guys are done. He's like, there's literally nothing else for you to do. He's like, the fact that you have these controls where you can integrate all your switches and all this stuff into SaaS alerts, into these automated protections. He said, you're already on your way to level 2. He said, the only work left to do is on your client side, where they have to figure out how they want to organize and manage their data. So that was probably like the shortest compliance call I've ever been on. Normally these things are very long-winded and there's a lot to do, but that was one of the few instances where what we had done, what we had been working up towards, just immediately let us check all the right boxes and showed the customer especially that, hey, even though we've been telling you to buy all this stuff, like there was a purpose to it. So it was a really nice win.
That's a great win. So is the customer of your MSP, I'm assuming that they are requesting a CMMC environment and support from their MSP to maintain their own CMMC certification? Is that the chain here, Sajid?
So we are their MSP.
Okay.
They have a gentleman there who does their day-to-day IT. But he's this is like well outside his scope. So they lean on us for a lot of these things. And it's a really good partnership we have with them. So compliance, I'm the only person at our team that likes compliance. It's probably one of the few things I honestly enjoy. Weirdly
Wait a
enough,
minute, really?
yes, like I die for compliance.
Are you looking for a
Anytime,
job?
always. I mean, I'm telling you, every PCI, HIPAA, everything that comes down, I always tell people, I'm like, just give it to me because I like dealing with all those little finite tidbits of what insurance and everything involves. And I like winning. It's a really nice, it's a weird way to win. Like I'm not going to be on the football field running for a touchdown, but I'll take a compliance win any day of the week. So
Yeah, that's wild. Well, I mean, I'm asking you these questions because I'm obviously dealing with this every single day, multiple times a day, and there is not a clear understanding among most MSPs that I talk to about whose responsibility compliance really is between the MSP and their customer and what the role of the product is. So one of the things that we're working on inside Kaseya, we have CRMs for all of our not all the products, but all the major products inside Kaseya, customer responsibility matrix, and we're now developing configuration guides for every single one of those that really is going to take the MSP through step by step exactly which configuration settings to select in BCDR, Data RMM, or SASP, or SaaS Alerts, or whatever, um, to help maintain the compliance boundary between the MSP and the customer. And then what policies they should have so that they can maintain the behavior boundary between the MSP and the customer, because not all of it's solved by a product.
Correct.
So you know, I'm always intrigued when I hear an MSP discussing compliance and someone that understands um, where the responsibilities actually lie. Like the products themselves are just a tool, whether
Yep.
it's a software product or a firewall or a switch or whatever. They're all just tools, and they have to be configured properly, and then have policies behind them to be used properly. So kudos to you. That's a long way of saying way to go, Sajit. And maybe next time we do a compliance talk somewhere, we're going to drag you and Eric Monroe up on stage and do it interview style.
Yeah, I'm always happy to chat about that stuff.
All right. Are you coming to Connect?
Yeah, I asked my boss, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll drag you there." He's like, "Let's go."
All right. I'm starting to get an idea forming in my brain, so we'll talk offline.
Yeah, always happy to chat. Thank you, Chip. But
Send you
yeah,
a
that's
quick
it for me.
Awesome, Sajit. We get to see you there. Okay, awesome, Tina. All right, let's do it. Any others? Going once, going twice. Oh, that's not what I wanted to show. Let's try this again. Well, I already know who's up. Tina, I'm sorry, Amanda, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, good, good. I know you have just one or two things Fortify related, if I remember.
Yep. So I have a slide deck here. Can I get to it?
Yeah, you're perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't want to let me get to there. It goes present. So just a couple of updates from Fortify. So we have a new snapshot type. These are all in QA testing, which means they'll be in our next release for Fortify. Today's Thursday, so most likely early next week that these will be released. So new snapshot type is the Intune device compliance policies, and this includes a lot of other settings as well. So between the Intune device compliance and the Intune device configuration that we already have, this is all Intune settings available. Then we have a couple of new recommended actions. So I've taken the screenshot here, highlighting the description tab. So, you know, the description tab is where you want to go for the information. And if we have links to the Microsoft articles and the Microsoft settings, you know, the links will be shown here on the description tab. So the first one is being able to designate more than one global admin. So this allows you to turn that feature on. Then all users of so the next few are all AI services related. So new recommended action for all users of generative AI services are blocked when insider risk is elevated. And so this is being able to help you ensure that, you know, using like Copilot, you know, is done in the circumstances that you want it done with.
Very nice.
So then there's another one for all generative AI services must access from a compliant device when insider risk is moderate. We have all generative AI services must complete phishing resistant MFA. So this one is more like the title is slightly different if you notice in here, but if you are looking for the action itself, if you search for generative AI with MFA in it, you'll find it. So this one makes it so that, you know, you have MFA allowed for it. And that should be it. Yep.
Hey, Amanda, I'm just curious, how, like, have you been tasked or has the team been tasked at Connect to do anything around, you know, integration of SaaS alerts to Intune or other pieces of the Microsoft stack?
So as far as using Fortify right now, because we have the snapshots, the recommendation is to use the snapshot integration for those features, right? So you have your Intune policies configured on a tenant. You have tested it out on that tenant. You know it works on that tenant. You then use the snapshot to import those policies and configuration settings. Then you take that snapshot and apply it to the rest of your tenants so that you're managing them there. So right now, that's our first level of that integration with that. Depending upon how whatever feedback we get, the expansion will go one way or the other. But right now, the recommendation is to use the snapshot and let us know.
Got it. Yeah, I was just curious. Like maybe Chip, from your perspective, is there more, for lack of a better word, highlighting, leveraging Intune with the platform? Maybe I'm saying it incorrectly, but I'm just trying to see. So we had the director of Intune at Write a Boom. So I'm just trying to see if there's any cross correlations or things that we could potentially, as a reason to get him there and support, efforts there, which I have a good.
Yeah, maybe there is. I mean, we have a lot of open issues in our development queue right now that are related to Intune integrations for Unify and also for Fortify for both modules. So there's a lot of work going on. We're continuing to expand that inside SaaS Alerts. So the ability to use the platform on the Fortify side for configuration management, and then from the Unify side, it just provides a lot more advice about what's going on with events and whether they're coming from approved devices or not. So we're continuing to go deeper and deeper down that rabbit hole to becoming a full-on Intune implementation platform.
So let's when you text me later, and I would definitely so Ben, love to do, like, we definitely, I shouldn't say definitely, I'm fairly confident we could do something. So we had the director of Intune, the director of Edge, and many other directors this year. They definitely have a very keen awareness and appetite to be at MSP events, and maybe we do a closed door one on development with me, you, Chip, and Leron and the team on what you'd like to do with Intune more, and then we do kind of maybe an open Q&A discussion with you and this gentleman.
Okay, we'll definitely follow up.
Cool. All right. Great job, Amanda. Thanks for sharing that. Ben, I know last week I inadvertently left you out, not intentionally, but you got some new exciting stuff when it comes to phishing. So let me give you the floor.
Do. And I want to first thank, I think I'm going to say this right, Yusnil from Empower IT Group. He brought me a couple of fun URLs that were sent to his customers, and just wanted to kind of jump into them a little bit and kind of show you what was sent, what you guys can be expecting to see. This is something we've been seeing a kind of an uptick on. This was one of the phishing links that were sent to his customer, and I think basically they gained access and they sent this out from his customer as well. And this is another one, just kind of just a generic little landing page. These URLs are still active, but this is basically like, this is how it starts, and you punch in your email address, and then it takes you off to the actual phishing service, which was hosted on Linode at the time. I, being a Boy Scout, reported it to Linode, and they have taken it down since then, which is great. But these landing pages are still out there to be used and looked at. I did download a copy of the code that was being used on Linode before it went down, and I just wanted to kind of show you guys what's going on and how they're hiding themselves and how they're preventing detection. And feel free to stop and ask any questions.
Ben, can you describe just like the sandbox technology you're running this in?
This is just an incognito browser with me being very, very careful on what I click on and not submitting any actual data.
Okay.
Yes, totally. That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, it's really about how you handle these things and just making sure that you're not actually, just clicking on the link and then signing in, in your actual browser. But no, this is one I just use for that. But basically, once you do submit your email address in here, so say I'm just going to go and just type in my old email address. What would happen is it would redirect them to the phishing site. Now you see Linode has done their due diligence and have shut this off, but that was the URL they're using at the top here. So very easy to spin up one of these virtual servers, and that's how they're really hosting these sort of things. Thankfully, they were quick acting and took it down. But
And Ben,
the page
is Linode a cloud hosting service?
Yep, totally. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You can spin up a virtual private server for pretty much usually on credit,
Okay.
and it gets them up and going really quickly.
Okay.
This is where that redirects them to is once you type in your email address, it's asking you to prove that you're human.
Got it.
When you do, you click this little box here. It's checking your browser, and then it's presenting you with the normal Microsoft sign-in. But I want to show you something really cool. If I hit F12, I want to find out what this code is actually doing. If I click this little button, it's running a script inside of the HTML to detect the delay that was happening with the debugger. And when I resume, it'll redirect me off to a site like Walmart. So it's designed to detect threat hunters, which is really cool. Funny enough, John Hammond did a video very recently on something very similar to this, and he dived into the same exact things that I'm kind of touching on right now, and discovered a lot of the same things that I did. Super fun. It's designed. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Burp Suite before. It's a program that you use to kind of pen test web applications vulnerability, and there's a code in here that's designed to detect that user agent, which is hilarious. I'm going to go ahead and drag this back over here. So with that being said, there's a couple of things that we can do when we're looking at this HTML, and this is just the inspector. If anybody's ever used this, you hit F12, it'll bring up the code, it'll bring up all the different network connections it's making as it's going out, pretty much everything that it's doing. And as we scroll down, there's past the CSS that will really format the page. We can kind of see there's definitely some strange things going on here in the code. For one, I'm seeing this random little function script right here, this little JavaScript, and it's establishing a variable. It's taking me off to this long string of characters. There's a couple of them in here. That's kind of a sign that they're trying to hide something from normal detection. Now, the fun thing that you can do if you are curious about what the threat actor is doing, what the technology is doing, is simply just take this code, copy it, and I use something called CyberChef. It's basically you can do all these different things to text, images, and everything else, but one of the most popular ones is Base64, which is what they're using. It's not so much encryption as it is obfuscation. It's not, but it's a good way for it to sneak around any sort of browser protection. And what that first code, the line of code is doing, which is right here that I pasted already in here, is translates into this HTML code. So basically, it's a little shopping cart kind of e-commerce site, kind of a nothing burger, right? Furniture delivery, yada yada yada. But if I take that second one, it's down here a little bit farther. There's another function that's happening here. And for you JavaScript programmers, you can always welcome to jump in and describe it. I'm not so much of a programmer type. I lean heavily on AI for a lot of this, but it's a lot of fun to look into. But if we do take this code, we punch it into here. Here's where it gets kind of fun. Here's the HTML of the phishing site that it's kind of redirecting you to, with all the Microsoft code that's in there, and that's kind of doing all of our work for us. I want you to take a look at something really cool here. This little code right here is designed to prevent you from opening up the inspector on this web page, or from right-clicking and going to view source. Because the page this page right here, if you take this text, you save it as an HTML file, it's going to send you to this right here. This is our sign-in page, right? But if we had followed that direction and we clicked and let's say we did click on this, and we're trying to, oh man, I want to inspect the code. Well, you can right-click all day long It's not going to do anything for you. If I hit F12 here, nothing. But if you take the code and you punch it in there and you kind of just drop it in, and if you're sneaky enough, you can click on most browsers. You can just go through the menu and view the source, and that will also take you to kind of what it's going on in the background. But all this to say, long story short, this was a lot of fun looking into and seeing how the threat actors are trying to prevent you from seeing what they're doing. But I decided that I have a developer tenant. I'm going to go ahead and let them do what they want to do. I'm gonna go ahead and fall for this like an average user, let them in, not try to prevent them or anything, not try to stop them. And so when I started looking at what they were doing through the sign-in logs, I saw something really cool. Like I see all this different activity happening. This is my IP address, but here is the threat actor gaining access to my account, like stealing my token and then taking it off and using it off in Texas. But as I was using this, all of a sudden, that account went into a full lock state. And I'm like, well, that's really super weird. What in the world happened? And what happened was one of our respond rules triggered off of it because it's using this phishing kit specifically uses the Axios agent, which is one of the ones that we look for. One of the rules that we have set up that I'd like to show you. So I'm gonna stop sharing and share my new screen.
And Ben, as you bring this up, is obviously this is an MSA. How about people non-MSA? Is this by default set, or do they need to set this up?
This will be, we have this exact rule in both our Discord server, and we're going to be putting it in the IOC community library very shortly. But this one you guys may recognize. I know Zach and Corey are going to recognize it because it's the same exact kind of techniques that we were monitoring probably about a year ago that was coming from this global internet solutions provider data center. But what's happened is it's using a very similar software. It's not the same data center. Whatever software it is being used all over the place. But this rule specifically detected that attack and blocked the account. So if you don't have this rule, definitely take a look at it. Here, I can summarize it. You can screenshot it if you want to. Like I said, it's also on Discord. It'll be in our community library under IOCs very shortly. I'm going to put that together and put it up there. But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you still like sending me that URL and letting me kind of get a little nerdy and technical and find out what exactly is going on, because it's pretty impressive.
That's awesome, Ben. Really well done. And by the way, I don't know if you were on the cyber call Monday, but we shout out for you on back time. Did you hear that?
Yeah, Tina actually made this. She said, "Go to minute 18," and I was like, "What's going on?" And I go over there and like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Did you get? We hope you got some signups from it.
Yeah,
yeah, great job on that. So yeah, people are like, "Well, what's his YouTube channel?" I'm like, hold on.
I know. And Matt Lee was in there like posting it.
Yeah,
Matt's awesome. I love Matt. He's a super awesome guy. If you never had a chance to meet him at any of the shows, you can walk right up to him and just like he'll talk to you for hours. So
for sure, great job. Any questions for Ben? That was fantastic, Ben. Thank you for that.
Yep. And one thing I do want to show you, if anybody's interested in this and looking at this kind of code and everything, this was the script that I pulled out from the token theft site, which kind of they're obfuscated a little bit, but there's a lot of Telegram stuff going on here. Big office boy, maybe that's where they're sending these tokens to. But if anybody's interested in picking this apart, just hit me up on Discord. I'll send you all the evidence and everything else that they use, but it's pretty impressive.
So Ben, Darren asked an interesting question. Is Axios user agent ever used in a legitimate scenario?
That's a great question. That is a super awesome question. Yes, it is. Actually, it's used in a lot of software. Specifically, one of the ones that I know off the top of my head is LineGuard uses it. If you just set up that rule to say only detect when Axios is being used, you're probably going to get some false positives. I don't know if SaaS Alerts uses it or not. Maybe Amanda or Adam can weigh in.
That's
But I do know
used Axios. It's Axios 1.7, I think.
Yeah. But that's why we add those other things into that rule, which is the office sign in and the other in there as well. And it's been pretty effective. I don't know of a day that thing doesn't go off as far as on the MSA side or SASM. So it's pretty reliable. I was on a call with somebody right before this one, and just yesterday we were looking through their IOCs and saw that pop, and it's like, oh yeah, that was legit. Somebody click on it. So it's being widely used.
Awesome job. Chip, do you need to drop? I know it's 5 of.
Yeah, I do. I've got to drop a little early. Great call, everybody. We'll see you next week. Ben, thanks for the show and tell, as always. And we'll catch you guys later. Thanks, everybody.
Talk to you later,
For
Chip.
your friend.
Take
Yeah.
care, guys.
We'll be
Thanks,
thinking-
guys.